This story shows that due to a deadly virus outbreak, all humans in the world have turned into zombies. But these aren't ordinary zombies. They are so fast that they can catch airplanes while running. Some are so clever that they can think ahead better than humans. And some zombies can track their targets from several kilometers away using their sense of smell. Amid this danger, only 2 humans remain alive in the world. Whether they will survive or not is unknown. In today's video, we see the story begin with a boy sitting in his room watching cartoons on TV, when suddenly the TV signal goes out and an emergency report appears on the screen. This news wipes the smile off the boy's face. The TV announces that a deadly virus has spread worldwide, turning infected people into horrifying zombies within minutes. This virus spreads very quickly, and the entire world is now under its grip. The broadcast tells everyone watching to find a safe place immediately. While the boy is watching all this, he hears a strange noise coming from the upper room. Hearing it, the boy freezes. He slowly goes upstairs and discovers that it's his older sister playing a prank on him. After this, the 2 children go toward their mother's room and find her very worried. She calls her husband, who is a pilot, to inform him about the situation. He tells them that the virus is spreading rapidly everywhere, so they shouldn't wait from a home and should escape the city by any means. He reassures them not to worry, saying nothing will happen to them, and their mother will take them to a safe place. He shows them a lucky bracelet made by his daughter Abigail. Seeing it, Abigail is overjoyed. Meanwhile, their mother quickly gathers essentials. Suddenly, they hear shouting from outside, so she rushes out with her 2 children. As they're about to get into the car, a zombie attacks their mother. Terrified, Abigail hides under the car and watches helplessly as her younger brother and mother are killed by the zombie. The zombie does not notice the little girl and leaves. Abigail, trembling in fear, sees her mother now turning into a zombie. Her mother starts moving toward her, intending to attack. But at that exact moment, a man, like a guardian angel, arrives, kills Abigail's mother, and saves her. Soon after, they notice that Abigail's younger brother is also turning into a zombie. The man instructs Abigail to cover her ears, then shoots her zombified brother to prevent him from becoming a threat. The scene then jumps 10 years into the future. Due to the zombie virus, human civilization has been completely destroyed. Once bright and bustling cities are now desolate, and humans are either dead or wandering as zombies. Only 2 people remain alive. Abigail, the little girl saved by the man, is now grown up. Since that day, she has been raised and trained by the man, Jack, to fight zombies. Without Jack, Abigail would have been dead by now. She considers Jack as her father. After living alone in the forest for so many years, Abigail feels extremely lonely. Her greatest wish is to find a human settlement and live among people. But Jack dislikes living among humans. One night, as they camp in the forest, Jack wakes up due to a sound. He quietly leaves the camp and sees a zombie attacking him. He shoots continuously, killing it, and Abigail arrives at the scene. Both have gained significant experience over the past 10 years hunting zombies, understanding that there must be more nearby. They quickly prepare to leave and mount their horses. Suddenly, the horses neigh, signaling danger. Looking around, they see a jeep toppled by zombies, and inside is a normal human trying to survive. With so few humans left in the world, they decide to save him at all costs. Jack also wants to test Abigail's aim. He tells her to rescue this man to see if she is fully trained. He instructs her to aim calmly and shoot. But Abigail shoots hastily, accidentally hitting both the zombies and the survivor. Seeing this, Jack gets very angry. They approach the man, realizing he cannot survive. Jack shoots him himself to ensure that if he was bitten, he does not turn into a threat later. They take all the necessary supplies from the dead man's car. Jack puts on the dead man's shoes, which makes some approaching armed men suspicious, thinking he killed their companion to loot supplies. As the group attacks them, a pregnant woman steps out of a car, asking her companions to leave the 2 unharmed. The black horse warns them again, and suddenly, loud noises come from the forest. A horde of zombies approaches like a storm, so fast that they have no chance to escape. Armed, they fight on the spot. Though they have weapons, the number of zombies is overwhelming, killing many one by one. A strong man gets bitten and tries to shoot himself, but his gun is out of bullets. It becomes clear that they cannot fight anymore. Abigail gets into the car with the pregnant woman. Her husband also sits in the car, and Jack starts driving away. Now, only 4 people remain in the group, while the rest have fallen victim to zombies. A black-faced zombie becomes furious, seeing his fallen companions. Meanwhile, the 4 are escaping the zombies in the car. On the way, Jack asks the lady who she is and why she is there. She reveals that the remaining people are trying to reach a place called Shipdown, where humans live safely with all necessary facilities. They wanted to live a normal life. Hearing this, Abigail became very happy, because this was exactly the place she had always wanted to go. But Jack replied that there is no such colony here. I've been wandering around here for the past 10 years. I haven't seen any such colony anywhere. Suddenly, their car broke down in the middle of the journey. During this, the pregnant lady's husband, David, steps out and tells them, "I'm a mechanic. I can fix it." But because they didn't have proper tools, the car couldn't be repaired. So they leave the car there and continue on foot. After walking several kilometers, they reach a deserted society. Tall buildings still stand here, but silence of death hangs everywhere. They carefully inspect the area, and finding no immediate danger, they decide to spend the night there. At night, they light a fire and cook food. Abigail was extremely eager to reach Shipdown. She begins talking to the pregnant woman about the place. The woman tells her that they had already made radio contact with people living in Shipdown. It is a very beautiful place where they can live freely. Hearing this, Abigail's eyes light up with excitement. Meanwhile, Jack sets up traps around the area so that even if they sleep, they will be warned of danger. Jack comes inside, takes out a map, and explains that he will escort Megan and David partway, and then they will continue on separate routes. Abigail is unhappy with Jack's decision. She argues with him, saying that David won't be able to safely get his pregnant wife there, so they must go with them. Jack responds that they need to act wisely. Where there are more people, there is also more danger. Abigail, upset by his decision, walks away. Unbeknownst to them, the black-faced zombie had already tracked their car to this location. The next morning, Abigail sits on the roof looking at her childhood photos, when suddenly she hears rustling in the trees below. She realizes that zombies have entered and rushes down to warn everyone, but a zombie chases her. Abigail climbs the stairs, managing to shake off the pursuing zombie and make it fall, but in the process she loses her balance and nearly falls herself. Jack arrives just in time to save her. Shortly after, the black-faced zombie arrives with companions to find where their fallen ally is. However, they get caught in the traps Jack had set earlier, killing many of the zombies. Jack realizes from the explosions that the zombie horde had reached the place where they had stayed the previous night. But fortunately, the group had already left. Abigail remembers a small airport nearby where her father used to work. She hopes there might be planes they can use to reach Shipdown more easily. Jack warns that airports are open spaces, making them vulnerable, and it's unlikely they'll find an airplane. After Abigail insists repeatedly, he reluctantly agrees. At the airport, there are no planes, at first, but when they enter a small garage, they find a small airplane inside, much to their delight. However, the plane hasn't been used for many years. David, the mechanic, says it needs some repairs, and he can fix it in 10 to 15 minutes. While David works, Jack and Abigail gather useful supplies. Through binoculars, David notices many zombies approaching quickly. They rush to warn him that they need to start the plane immediately, or the zombies will reach them. Abigail quickly takes the pilot seat. She reads the manuals, having learned some aviation basics from her father. Jack shoots zombies to keep them at bay. Abigail manages to start the plane just in time, but by then, many zombies have reached the runway. One zombie even reaches the plane's door, but Jack shoots it, saving them. Abigail gains control of the plane, and they take off. Everyone is thrilled, thinking they are heading straight to Shipdown. But the joy is short-lived. Shortly after, smoke starts coming from the engine because the plane hasn't flown in 10 years. The engine fails, and the plane begins descending. Jack makes a smart decision and crash lands the plane into a tree, saving their lives but sustaining minor injuries. The plane is now unusable, so they must continue on foot. After walking a long distance, they reach an abandoned railway station. They check for danger, find none, and decide to spend the night. Looking at their map, they realize they are only 2 days away from Shiptown. The pregnant lady thanks Jack, saying, "Without you, we would never have reached here." Jack feels sympathetic toward Megan and tells her his story. 10 years ago, when the virus began, he had to kill his own wife first because she was about to bite him. Since then, a part of him has died. Now, Abigail is the only person he cares for, and he vows to protect her at all costs. Jack assures Megan, "My goal has changed. First, I will get you to Shiptown safely." Megan is delighted to hear this. Meanwhile, Megan's husband, David, tries to shoot himself because a zombie bit his leg. He hasn't turned into a zombie yet because the wound is small, so the virus spreads slowly. He decides to ensure his wife reaches Shiptown before he risks turning. The next morning, the four continue their journey. Along the way, Jack notices David behaving strangely and realizes he is infected. Jack takes him to an empty spot away from his wife and Abigail. Lifting David's shirt, he sees the bite mark, confirming that David will soon turn into a zombie. Jack asks David whether he wants to die by his own hand, or if Jack should do it. David assures him he will not harm anyone and will kill himself if needed. Jack lets him go. As night falls, they spot a house. Jack approaches with his gun ready. Suddenly, a bright light shines, and a speaker warns them to put down their weapons or be shot. They realize there are humans inside. Abigail steps forward, saying their purpose is not to harm anyone. They just need help. The house owner comes out and tells them they will be provided food and a place to stay, but they must leave their weapons outside. Once they leave their weapons, the man welcomes them inside. He introduces himself as a scientist who lives alone here. He says he could leave, but the location is ideal for research. He gives them very good food, which surprises them because they haven't eaten such meals in a long time. After eating, he brings drinks, and they are delighted to relax and talk after so long. However, the scientist's words make them uneasy. He explains that although the virus is terrible, it has upgraded humans in a way. Weak humans die, but the strong survive as zombies. Zombies live only to eat, not to progress, so he believes zombies should rule the world. This unsettles the four of them. Meanwhile, David feels worse and goes to the bathroom. Looking in the mirror, he sees the virus has fully spread in his body. Returning to the hall, he finds Jack and the others unconscious. The scientists had spiked their drinks with a sedative. David attacks the scientist, but the scientist presses a button on a device, weakening David, who falls to the ground. The scientist explains that he has created this device after years of effort, allowing him to travel anywhere in the world safely, controlling zombies. He can now dominate the world and make zombies obey him. When David regains consciousness, he finds himself and his companions tied up, and the scientist plans to experiment on them. The scientist then asks if they want to meet his wife, who is a zombie kept in a cage and fed humans. The device was tested on her first. When he opens the cage, his wife immediately attacks him. The scientist remotely controlled the zombies, sending them toward the four. His wife's zombie attacks Jack, but he kicks her back, keeping her at bay. Meanwhile, David breaks his restraints using the virus's strength and frees the others. Sensing danger, the scientist flees immediately. The four quickly gather their belongings and leave. Luckily, they find the scientist's car outside and drive into the forest. However, the scientist is relentless. Using his device, he controls a zombie horde to chase them. Jack speeds up the car, leaving most zombies behind, but the road ahead is blocked. They have no choice but to continue on foot. After walking a little further, the zombies catch up again. David realizes he doesn't have much time. He will soon turn into a zombie. He urges the group to go ahead while he stays behind to hold off the zombies. His wife doesn't want him to stay, but David tells her, "You have to live for our child. I'm doing this for our unborn baby." David bravely fights the zombies, buying enough time for his companions to escape. After a long battle, a zombie finally kills him. Jack carries Megan in his arms and moves forward, and eventually, they reach a human settlement. Abigail shouts for help because zombies are still chasing them. Two guards on a tower spot them and start shooting the zombies with sniper rifles, covering them. Soon, a boat arrives and the three board it, reaching inside ship down safely. The black-faced zombie is stopped by water, unable to cross. Meanwhile, Megan goes into labor and urgently needs medical attention. Fortunately, the town has doctors and a hospital. The next morning, we see the town connected by large ships, surrounded by water. Jack tells Abigail it's time to leave, but Abigail decides to stay. She enjoys being among people. They argue over this. A doctor arrives, informing them that Megan gave birth to a daughter, but due to heavy bleeding, she may not survive long. Jack feels sad and rushes to the hospital. Megan is weak and wants Jack to raise her daughter like Abigail. Jack, remembering his deceased wife, agrees to take care of Megan's daughter. Meanwhile, Abigail enjoys herself with a handsome young man, dancing, drinking, and enjoying music, strengthening her resolve to stay. Later, Abigail notices a young man secretly entering a cabin and follows him. Inside, she finds a cabin filled with wires and bombs, with a wireless switch hanging. As she touches it, the boy runs in and explains that bombs are placed under shipdown, which can be detonated if the town is in danger. Neither Abigail nor Jack anticipated that this day would come so soon. The scientist arrives, furious, seeing that the group has killed many zombies, the very ones he intended to use to dominate the world. Using his device, he takes control of the black-faced zombie king. With his help, zombies from underwater attack the town, killing many and causing panic. Jack learns about the attack and rushes to find Abigail, shooting zombies along the way. He finally reaches her, but the scientist also boards a ship and punches Abigail, knocking her down. Jack runs to fight the scientist, but a zombie intervenes, pushing him into a tank, where the scientist also arrives to take revenge. Jack is thrown down, but he knows fighting the scientist directly is futile. He strikes the scientist's device against the wall, destroying it. The scientist loses control over the zombies and soon falls victim to them. Fortunately, the camp already had an escape route. Many survivors reach the other side of the river through a tunnel. When they're about to detonate the bombs, the young man doesn't press the button because Abigail is still on the ship. Jack and Abigail start running outside, but the zombie king grabs Abigail. Jack quickly hits the zombie with a log, making it fall backward. Abigail notices the bracelet on the zombie king's hand. It's the same bracelet she made for her father as a child. She realizes the zombie king is her father, but he is no longer human. Jack grabs her, urging her to run. The young man sees him escaping and presses the wireless remote, reducing ship down to ashes. The battle isn't over yet. The camp leader, bitten by a zombie before the virus spread, collapses. Amazingly, the zombie king survives the explosion. Jack runs to fight the zombie king, but struggles. Abigail picks up a gun, knowing the zombie king is her father, but he is attacking Jack, who raised her. Without hesitation, Abigail shoots the black-faced zombie king to save everyone. Afterward, Jack and Abigail embrace. They look out toward a deserted island across the sea, deciding to establish a new human settlement there. And with that, the story ends. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and like the video.